Hey guys, it's Forza. Bringing you guys a video tutorial. A lot of people requested me to do a video, especially with voice audio. And this video would have audio, and I'm gonna be walking you guys through the steps of how to edit a picture and the Forza settings, like the photo mode settings and all of that. So yeah, this video it might be a bit long because it's mostly uncropped. Everything's all together, and I didn't crop out any parts because I wanted you guys to get, everything, all the steps I do. So yeah, it's gonna be like around 20 minutes. So if you're really interested in knowing how I edit my pictures, then feel free to watch the whole thing. And yeah, anyways, hope you like it, and thanks for watching. Alright, so these are my settings. Exposure, I usually have it around 20 to 40. Since it's a rolling shot, we're going to be turning the aperture all the way down. And then the shutter speed, I'm going to have it around 63. Focus mode on tracking, so it's not all messy. You can use panning, but with panning, the shutter speed normally has to be like super low, like around 7. Unless you want the car to be like super blurry. But for this one, we're gonna try exposure on 45, bokeh shape, circle, the contrast. We're gonna try 59. And when I'm trying on the settings, I do it like this, like horizontal, so I can like get a better view of the car, so I don't have like tilt my head sideways because right now I'm not playing on my monitor. So I leave it like this, and then when I finish with the settings, then I like turn it around to take a vertical shot, and then I take, the picture. So for this, I'm gonna leave it on 59. The color, I usually have it around here. I don't really mess with this. I just leave it like this. My brightness is on 49. My sepia, I think that's how you say it. I have it on 40. I've noticed a lot of people don't have it on 40, and they don't use it at all because they don't know what it is. But this basically makes your pictures not that much saturated. As you can see, when I turn it off, it's like super blue, and the background is like super orange and like yellowish. If you turn it a bit, if you turn it up, then the picture looks more realistic, like as if it was taken, in the real world where cameras don't have that much saturation. Or to be honest, I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, yeah, I usually have it around 40, so let's just leave it on 40. Vignette, and I have that in 0. I don't really like adding that, especially to car pictures. So I don't use it in editing or in here, so I just leave it on 0. Temperature, that's something that can be used a lot. So let's say you're in a warm spot and like the picture looks too yellowish, then you can turn it down. Or if you want the picture to look a bit warm because it's like too cold or it's on winter, then you can bring it up. On this case, I'm just gonna leave it on 49 because I don't want it to be too warm or too cold. So I think 49 is the way to go. The car lights, you can honestly turn them on for most cars, but cars like this, as you can see when I turn it on, it basically makes the whole picture bright and you can't even make up the car, especially in the front. So you get more detail when turning it off because, you get all the details from the grill, around the headlights, around the fenders, and all of that. So you can just disable that. Drivers always have it disabled on rolling shots. You're not able to disable it. As you can see, the vehicle must be stationary. So, so what I do is I usually have my driver tires on racing close, or like with the helmet. So when you take pictures and you can see the driver tar inside, it's not like awkward and you see like a random face. Like right now he has the helmet and you can see his helmet and not his face. So that's a little thing I do as well. Crowd I have it disabled, and creatures always I also have it disabled. And these are all my settings. A quick walkthrough I did to them. And now we're gonna be taking the picture and we're gonna be jumping on into the Lightroom edit on Lightroom Premium. So for vertical shots, you want to do this. This is the best way to have quality quality shots on vertical. You don't want to take horizontal shots and then crop them. You're gonna lose a lot of quality doing that. If you want to take vertical shots, you always do them like this. You tilt your thing sideways, and you probably gotta break your neck to look at the screen to see if it's straight or not. And you want to like go as straight as possible. So once you go into the editing, you don't want to crop out too much to fix your picture because you're gonna lose quality. So you want to go as close as possible, or however you want to position your car to where like you don't have to crop it or rotate it when you're actually editing. So I'm gonna be doing that. I focus on the car, on the front of the car, and then I click A. Like the reason I click A, a lot of people take the pictures just like that without clicking A. I first process the photo and then I back out and then I take the screenshot. That way, when you process the photo, everything's like completely loaded in. The shutter speed is completely loaded in. Sometimes the shutter speed takes a while to actually do its full effect. Like if you notice if you put the shutter speed all the way up, you're gonna start noticing the shutter speed is slowly like building its way to the full effect. So some people sometimes take the screenshot early and they don't actually get the shutter speed they decided to put. So that's why it's better to process the photo before you take the picture. So you process it, then you click B, and then you take the screenshot. Alright guys, so we're now in Lightroom. The first thing I usually do when I start editing my pictures is I go to crop, obviously, rotate the picture to the right side, of course, and then you want to kind of straighten your picture, crop it, whatever you have to do. So for this picture, I'm going to do this. I feel like this is good enough. And then we're gonna go to the bottom left where it says original, click it, and click 4x5. The reason I do 4x5 is because the max vertical size you can post on Instagram is 4x5. And I feel like, if it's the biggest size, then why not post the biggest size? A lot of people do square pictures, and I'm fine with that, but I feel like you have nothing to lose if you post 4x5. So I am going to be doing 4x5, like all my posts. And then to position my car, I don't want my car way too high. Obviously, that looks too weird, or way too low. I always go around the rule of thirds, which is usually around here, and I always go a bit higher than that. So I am going to do this picture around here. So I feel like I'm fine with that. Okay, so now that we're done cropping and rotating, the first thing I usually check is color. For this picture, I feel like there's a lot of blues, so I feel like we could work on the blues. So we're going to color, then we're gonna click mix right here, and then we're gonna go to blue. When we're in blue, we're gonna turn down the saturation and see how the picture looks. So this is how it looks like on saturation all the way down. This is how it looks like normal. I feel like the picture looks better with saturation around 30. So I'm gonna put the blue saturation around -32. Now we're gonna check what other colors can make a difference on this picture. Let's see if yellows make any difference. Doesn't make much of a difference, so we're just gonna leave that on normal. Orange doesn't make much of a difference besides that building on the back, but we wanna leave that because that's the color of the sun hitting it. So we're gonna leave that there. And the other colors are not very they're not related to the picture. There's no pinks or purples on the picture, so we're just gonna leave it like that. The only thing we changed was the blues, which is a common color that gets lowered on saturation on a lot of pictures. So we're gonna click done here so everything saves. The next thing we want to do is we wanna go to here to light, and then we want to go check what things can make a difference on the picture. So let's try exposure. You want to put it down, up, and see if anything looks better. For this picture, I feel like it looks good on 0, and I feel like the rest of the editing could be done on selective editing. So we're just gonna leave that on 0. Contrast, I also feel the same way, and basically with anything else. I feel like we could do the rest on selective editing. So we're gonna go to selective editing. Selective editing is a premium feature you get on Lightroom Mobile. If you have an Android, which I do, you can get Lightroom Premium for free using certain methods. You can search it up on YouTube on how to get Lightroom Premium for free, and it's pretty easy. And then you can use features like selective editing and healing, I believe, is also a premium feature. So yeah, so we're gonna be going to selective editing. We're gonna click the plus sign, and then we're gonna click this circle, and then we're just gonna place it around somewhere. All right, so on this picture, I feel like the left side of the car right here, I feel like it looks a bit too dark. So I'm gonna be placing the circle around here. I'm gonna click light on the bottom, and I'm gonna be pulling up the shadows. I don't want to get the area around it too exposed to those settings, so I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. And then I'm gonna pull up the shadows again and see how it looks like. I'm gonna be putting the shadows around 5, and then let's try the exposure. I'm gonna be putting exposure around 25. Now, since I don't want the area around it exposed, I'm gonna be clicking this little circle right here. I'm gonna click the eraser, and then I am going to be erasing over the area that's not hitting the car. So it's only the front of the car on the left side that's being exposed to those settings I added. So there we go. And now you can see the difference. That was before, it was a bit darker, and now it's a bit brighter. Not big of a difference, but little details count. So the next thing I want to be doing is going to selective editing again, and then we're going to use this square gradient right here. So we're going to click the third one. We're gonna scroll up over here. We want to use probably around here, and then we're gonna click light and turn the exposure down. You can mess around with it. You can make it smaller, then pull it up so the effect is stronger. You can slide it out so the effect is not that strong. It fades away in a longer area. So I'm gonna be putting it around here, and I'm gonna be putting it around negative 3.20, and we're gonna leave it like that. After that, I am going to be clicking selective editing again, plus sign, and we're going to choose a circle. Now this is what I use for my exposure. Usually people do it on the where we just went through on beginning of editing, but I mostly do it this way for my pictures. So what I do is I start the circle from wherever the source of light is coming from on the picture. So it would be around here from the sky. And then I'm going to be dragging it kind of over the car. I don't want it completely like on top of the car. I want it to have it over. So I'm going to be putting it around here. And then I'm going to be turning up the exposure and see how it looks like. Then I'm going to be kind of messing around with it. See how long I have to stretch it. And I feel like around 1.23 looks well. So I'm going to be clicking done. And then you can see that's a big of a difference already. Now I feel like the left side of the car right here, on the left headlight. I feel like that area right there is a bit too dark compared to the right side. So we're gonna be clicking selective editing again, and we're gonna do a similar circle, but on the left side. So I want to do it around like this. We're gonna click light, then put the exposure a bit high, not too much because you don't want the area to be too bright either way. I meant you don't want that area to be too bright. So I'm gonna put it around negative, not negative, I'm gonna put it around positive 40. We could also see if the shadows make a difference, but we're just gonna leave it off. We're gonna leave it on 0. Now, as you can see, the picture already looks a lot different from what it was before. This is before and this is after. I feel like the picture could use a bit of straightening, so you can change that while you're at it. I feel like that looks better. Now, another thing you want to add is clarity. So to add clarity, you go to effects, and then you see the second option. This is clarity. For clarity on pictures, I usually add around 10 to 30, depending on how rough the picture already is. So for this picture, you can just go back and forth and see which one fits better. So I'm going to be choosing around positive 30. So I'm going to choose 30 right there. I feel like that looks good. And then you can also go ahead and add grain if you want. If you're a big fan of grain, you can add that as well. But for this picture, I'm not going to use grain. I'm just going to leave it like this. Another thing you can add to Lightroom pictures, there's this thing called profiles. It's like different um presets you can, it's not presets, it's kind of like different color gradings you can add. I'm not sure how you can explain how this works, but it's basically there's different like type of, like here we have monochrome, artistic 3, artistic 4. There's different type of styles. So if you're like if you want to try a style, then you can try one of these. My favorite ones are artistic 3 and artistic 4, and also modern 8. So you can try those. For this picture, I feel like artistic 4 makes it look a bit better, so I'm gonna be choosing artistic 4, and then I'm gonna put it around 35. So I'm just gonna leave it around 35. So I feel like it looks good. Now for the car, I feel like we can still work on it, especially around the front side and around the front wheel. So I'm gonna be going back into selective editing. I'm gonna choose a circle, and I'm gonna be going around here, and I'm gonna experiment and see if it looks better. So I'm gonna add some exposure. And when I added around 20 exposure, I feel like it looks a bit better. It's not too dark around that area. So I'm gonna leave that like this. We could also make this building on the back a bit darker, kind of give it that depth of field. So we're gonna choose like this, go to light, put that down around negative 20, not too much, just little details. And then you can see we already have a huge difference. You can keep adding from that. If you feel like you could do other changes on the picture, you can keep editing, messing around with selective editing. Selective editing is one of the major things on Lightroom Mobile. For the wheels, I feel like I can make it more shiny. A common way of making them shiny is by grabbing selective editing, using the circle option, going over the wheel, and bringing up the clarity. That makes it more shiny. Once you're done with the nice settings, I'm gonna use around clarity 40. You can go ahead and duplicate that, and then go to the other wheel and add it and see if the same setting looks well. So for this, I'm just gonna leave it around 40 as well. So there we go. The wheel is way more shiny. If you want to have it shinier, and if you want to keep adding more selective edits, you can go for it. Keep adding, messing around with little details on the picture, whatever you think looks good. So yeah, you can mess around with temperatures as well. If you feel like your picture is too warm or too cold, you can go ahead and lower the temperature or raise it. For this picture, I feel like it's perfectly fine how it is, so I'm gonna be leaving it like this. For sharpness, I don't always add this since I don't really crank it up to the max where it makes a big difference. But if you do want to use it to make your picture look a bit more crispy, then you can add it around 20. It depends on what picture you're editing on. But for what I do, this is something that I would be fine with for now. If you want to make the bottom a bit darker, you can go ahead and go to selective editing, click the square option again, and then you can make that bottom part a bit darker. So you can go like this, -99, and this is another way. If you want the whole picture and overall to be brighter, you can go to light, crank that up a few times. So here is on 10. I feel like 10 looks good. And that's pretty much it, guys. A lot of people feel like I do a ton of things to my pictures, but I honestly go with very simple methods. If you're a professional editor, I apologize because, I just do these things from like what I do on editing. I might be doing a lot of stuff wrong, but I mean, a lot of people do like my pictures. So if you like the way I edit, this is how I edit my pictures, and you could give it a try. And take tips from what I do, what I use, selective editing, etc. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be the video. Thanks for watching. If you watched the whole thing, if you guys have any requests or future videos on new things, then let me know. I'll be sure to make new videos when I can. And if you guys haven't already, follow me on Instagram at Forza. And I also have a Twitch account. I stream from time to time. So if you want to follow my Twitch, follow it at FastForza24. And I also have a Discord server where we do all types of things. We help each other out with photos, we chat, we play games like Among Us, and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to join my Discord server, click the link in the bio, and it'll take you straight to that server. So besides that, thank you guys for watching again, and see you next time.